All right, so we're going to be talking about Cardano today, but before we do so, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that bell button right there so you can be notified about all the TA that we're bringing you, basically on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Fridays. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Ali_Charles. You can follow my co-host Akash at Mac&Co with a 0 at the end. And you can also follow Jonathan at Just Analysis 1. So when we look at Cardano from an ownership perspective, I mean, something very clear that we can see right here, right, is that Cardano has basically dropped below a crucial area of support, represented by that zone between 213 and 219 for an average price of 220 basically, right? So so now that Cardano has basically broken below this price point, I mean, he has been having a really difficult time to reclaim this significant supply zone as support, right? So even though it has attempted to do so over the past few days, it has failed to achieve any bullish and decisive bullish price action, right? So based on that, I mean, what we can potentially forecast is that eventually all of these people that basically bought Cardano right here are going to be getting a little bit tired, and they're going to be preventing seeing their investment going into the reds, right, or out of the money. So in order to do so, they may be encouraged to sell, pushing Cardano downwards, right? And on the other hand, right, on the other side of the picture, what we can see is that there is no significant support underneath Cardano right now, right? So a decisive close below 206 could potentially lead to a steep correction, right? When we look at the global in and out of the money or price model, what we can see is that the most significant support zone for Cardano currently sits at an average price of 1.76. So in the event of a bearish breakout, right, where basically Cardano closes decisively below 206, what we could see is a downswing towards $1.76, right? When we look at some of the other on-chain metrics, right, what we can see is that basically, the number of large transactions on the network can act as a proxy for institutional investors and wealth activity. And what we have seen is that ever since the peak, around $3, right? This metric has basically plummeted, right? And currently, roughly 922 large transactions are taking place on the network right now, compared to when Cardano was trading at around $3. It was roughly 9,944, right? So that significant decrease in the activity of wealth and large investors on the Cardano network could result in a bearish outlook for this coin. I believe in the short term, it could be very soon. So as of right now, Cardano is not looking good for the bulls. It's looking good for the bulls, and you can also see that the number of new addresses joining the network continues declining, while prices have been basically stabilized around the $220 level. So I am expecting a bearish breakout for Cardano, and I believe that it could potentially target 1.76 upon a decisive close of that 206 level, right? The only way I can turn bullish on this coin is if it's basically, breaks above 225. And at that point, I'll potentially target something like 232 or maybe 276. But as of right now, I'm leaning more to the bearish side. I don't know if you, Jonathan, are looking at something different from a technical perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's all around ugly right now for Cardano. I've had this bearish pennant down here for I don't know how long, a few weeks, I think at least since the beginning of October, and we've seen multiple attempts. It's just been kind of like an irritating trade for bulls and bears, because you've had a lot of kind of short-term whipsaws as far as, technical breakout conditions being confirmed, but nothing really entering into a follow through. The close yesterday is probably the most bearish close that we've had since September 29th, because that close occurred where it's below every single Ichimoku level. It's below Senko Span A and B. It's below the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen. And all those levels are above where Cardano is currently at 213. It's below. It's now below the that bearish pennant. And so right here, this is just kind of waiting for somebody to just give it a little push down the stairs, and it'll just kind of fall. It's really holding on to a thread. Below to between it's a very tight range in here, but the 50% fib level is at 207. Below that, there's not much of anything. In fact, when you look at the volume profile for 2021, it thins out considerably between roughly $2 even and $1.80. And then that's ultimately where we get into testing the prior lows down around that 190 level. But when you look at using a fib expansion and projecting off of these swings, we get to zones really anywhere between 170 and 180 as the next kind of zone of support that you would enter into. So yeah, it's very much looking like further downside pressures here. And I'm really not looking at this turning bullish until, and this has kind of been standard over the last, ever since we got into the cloud, over a month ago, actually, that was exactly a month ago. Not until there's a close above the cloud will I lean on the bullish side of this market. So for right now, I maintain.
What is that price point?
That would be at 238 to 239 currently. That's where it would need to close at for me to be bullish. But for right now, yeah, I'm leaning on the bear side of things. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, that's good to know. It does seems like the fundamentals coincide with the technicals. But what about you, Akash? What are you looking at from a short-term perspective?
There are actually a couple of things I'm looking at. I think me and Jonathan have been looking at the same pennant for a while now. So my first thesis is that if it does break below this, I was expecting the pennant formation, right? If it breaks below 2.12, I think we were going to go to 1.90 and 1.985, this cluster of liquidity that was resting down here. And I expected a possibility of a triple tap setup over here and somewhere down here, right? So this would be like an ideal point for Cardano to come down and then start rallying again. This was the first possibility I'm looking at, but looking at the prior trend over here, which is like a steep downtrend, and this pennant, this turns into a bearish pennant, continuation pattern, right? So if this plays out and Cardano breaks below 1.09, then I'm expecting it to head down to 1.51, which is like the extreme bearish case scenario and a theoretical target, right? But if you look at the technicals, right, I am expecting it to come down to 1.68 to 1.75. This is where the downswing, if it breaks below 1.90, will stabilize. That's really everything I have, Cardano.
It seems like we're gonna get a lot of haters on this on this video, no? And hopefully they understand that I mean we're being the most unbiased here as possible, and I mean the technicals and the fundamentals are both showing that Cardano has more potential as of right now to go down than to go up. I mean, you have to understand that this is a cryptocurrency that before the smart contract upgrade that it went through, I mean, it was just going bananas, right? It even made a new all-time high of a little bit above $3, right? While other cryptocurrencies were basically, remaining stagnant, right? So it does seem that, as of right now, investors appear to be, taking profits from this coin. And again, right, I mean, it could potentially dive towards 1.76 or, the most bearish case scenario towards 1.50, as Akash was saying. But at the end of the day, that could present you an opportunity to buy right there before this cryptocurrency, resumes its uptrend. But as of right now, it does seem like it's going through a bearish trend. All right. So please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, right? So you can continue to be updated on all of these cryptocurrencies and as well as Cardano, and also follow us on Twitter.